Hey, that was shaky. Hey, you know what I hate? Eviction notices. And that's unfortunate because we about to watch Good Times. Now, we're not going to watch it together. You're going to go home and watch it yourself. I've already seen it. Let's talk about it. So, this is season 1, episode 1 of Good Times. Florida already just, oh, it's a big no for me. Florida, do better. Okay, so it starts off with, now why my mouth always get dry when I start recording? Okay, so it starts off with Michael coming in the door, hollering at some other kid down the hallway, and it's just like, hey, no, stop all that. He's telling this child, like, I don't even remember what he was talking about, child. It don't matter. He was hollering. Thelma in there cooking. She making oatmeal, or the oatmeal is making her. I can't determine which. And Michael is like, yuck, because apparently Thelma can't cook. I just, I know this was 1974, February 8th, 1974, but like, that joke feels like it was overdone by then. Like, girl, we are okay. There's a woman who can't cook. Ooh, she's shaking the table. It's fine. Anywho, during this time, we find out that she has to cook because Mama just had surgery. And then she says, "Well, where's James Jr.?" And I'm just, by the time we get to where's James Jr., I'm like, okay, so the expedition that we're doing is just too much. Because why did I say expedition and not exposition? You see how things become too much? The expo and I keep wanting to say expedition. The exposition is too much because we've already done well, I have to cook because Mama had surgery. And now we're doing, well, where's James Jr.? To tell us that Mama had surgery. Number one, to tell us that JJ's name is James Jr. Number two, I think the people could have put that together when we brought in James, but okay. And then James Jr. walks in the door and where have you been, James Jr.? He gives us, well, I had to walk up 17 flights of stairs. So we know they way up there. Oh, the other thing that Michael was saying was like, I wouldn't play with you if you were the last kid in the projects. So now we know they're in the projects. It just felt very, you pushing this on me. You pushing all your information on me. I could have gathered it myself. And maybe I'm looking at it from a hindsight or a high forward is 46 still something, but it's just like, girl, because I wasn't even 2 minutes and 15 seconds in by the time. Well, I'm walking up 17 flights of stairs. Alrighty. You in the projects. Your name is James Jr. Y'all live way up high. And Mama had surgery. We all know. It's just like, okay. You would think I hate this show the way I'm gonna review it, but listen, I like being grumpy. Let me see. Let me look at the notes. Okay, so the girls get to fighting because James Jr. and Thelma, I don't know, they brother and sister. So they get to calling each other ugly, and Michael is in between trying to get them to stop. And here come Florida. Hold it. Hold it. Hold it. And I'm like, I feel like parents need to bring back stuff like hold it. Because the girls just be like, stop now. Stop don't feel like enough. Hold it. Whatever it is, hold it. Cut that out. Hold it. We need to bring back hold it. I don't know. It feels good to me. I'm on this mission to like bring back older phrases and words. So hold it. I feel like I'm gonna try to slide that into my vernacular. Um, but anyway, she's like, "Hey, what's going on?" And he and she, JJ and Thelma are like, "That he called me ugly. She called me ugly." And it's like, y'all are 28 years old because they big. These kids are grown. These kids are grown. I don't know how old um Jimmy JJ Walker and Bernadette Stanis were at this time, but they look like they in their 20s. IDK. Maybe that's just how children looked in the 70s. I've never been to the 70s. I heard it was nice, but I've never been. But anyway, James was downstairs getting the mail, so when his mother comes out of the room, she asks for the mail. And he's like, "Oh, well, here are some bills." And then he says, "Uh-oh." And he tries to hide the letter. And she says, "Well, let me see the uh-oh." Turns out the uh-oh was not a oh no no like Beyonce. It was a oh no like eviction. So the girls are getting evicted today. How inconvenient for the girls to get evicted today. And so while Florida is processing that everybody got to go on this day, on this land, the door gets to being beat. And I'm talking about beat. And I'm like, well, who is it? Is it the eviction people coming to get them? It sounds like somebody was coming to kill them. Turns out it's James Sr. So James Sr. comes on in. He's like, well, it's cold out there. Why you ain't open the door? Well, first of all, you heat rises and you 17 stories up. I just found out. I just heard. JJ just told me. So you ought to be all right. And you ought to be good from walking up them steps. Because you know Booger Booger never has the elevator working. You fine. Anyway, he take off his coat. He's shivering and he looked just like Mr. McDowell. He looked just like he did down to the Coming to America like 10 years later. But actually he looked young on Coming to America, I feel like, but whatever. Anyway, he comes in the house and Florida is like, James, why didn't you tell me we have an eviction notice? And he like, oh, it's cool. Like, don't even, girl, my friend Monty told me it was all right. And she's like, Monty ain't no good. We must stop this at once. He like, it's cool, it's cool. And then the eviction people come over. Well, before they do that though, my diva, Willona. I loved me some Janae Dubois. The name alone rings bells ding ding. She's tea. She was tea. God rest her. She comes in. You know how TV shows in the day where you just walk in, just, hey, folks. So she walks in. She sees James in Florida having a little verbal tussle, and she's like, well, what the hell going on in here? And so Florida's like, well, we're getting evicted, Willona. And she's like, evicted? Oh, Lord. And James is like, well, let's not talk about the eviction, child. Let's talk about your date last night. And Willona's like, well, all right, because a man? Let's talk about a man. Hold on, I got a drink. So Alona's like, let's talk about a man. She's like, he was 6'2". His shoulders were out to here. He had a smile like sunshine. And he mugged me. And I was tickled. I was like, oh, he was fine. He was tall. Oh, he mugged her. Like, I was really like, oh, no. Because Good Times is not one of those shows like The Golden Girls where I know what's finna happen because I've seen all these episodes and I know what she's finna say. I'm watching this show sort of with fresh eyes. Like, of course, I've seen episodes here and there, but I don't know the order of the show. I've never seen, I mean, you can tell when a show is in its later, 6 seasons later when it's in the last. You can tell the difference between that. But I don't know. I'm going into this kind of fresh. I'm gonna try to do all 6 seasons. We'll see. You know how I give up on things, but whatever. Anywho, I thought that was hilarious. I giggled when she said she got mugged by her date. That's so rude. Anyway, a little earlier, I skipped ahead, but a little earlier in the conversation, before James got home, they were trying to figure out how much money they needed. Apparently, rent is well, I'm sorry, $100. $105, something like that. And they have $32 in the shoebox. Why you got a shoebox with $32 in it? I don't know. They feel like a panty drawer type beat. Why it gotta be in the shoebox? And why the kids know how much money in the shoebox? Because if we had a shoebox full of money, my mama wouldn't have let the kids know what was in there. And I wasn't even a thief. But she wouldn't have I would not have known what was in the shoebox. Anyway, we find out they have $32 now. They're $72 short for the rent that they need today. And I looked it up. $105 in 1974 money comes out to be $700 today. So they were short like $500. Not literally, but like nearly literally. So they was going through something. But I just feel like old people act like, oh, y'all got it so easy now. But y'all rent was $105 and y'all was making enough money. I mean, a lot of people were struggling, but y'all was making enough money to cover things. These niggas today, these niggas being me, gotta work 87 jobs. I'm up sun up to sundown, struggling. And y'all had bread that was 25 cents and y'all mad about that. Child, child. Anywho, but yeah, they was short a good little bit. I also forgot to mention when James walked in, he was low key abusive. Cause why is you hollering at me? You couldn't get to the door faster than that? Ooh, I don't like that. And then she says, if you wanted faster, you should have married O.J. Simpson. Ooh, that's gonna age bad. Well, James does die in the end, so maybe he should have married O.J. He was gonna die either way. Anywho, um, where did I stop at? Willona getting mugged. So she says I've got what she say, $16 at home that I've been saving for a rainy day. And I'm like, that's a good little bit of money. That's over $100 in 2020, whatever money. 2026 money. That's a good little piece of change, Willona. That's a real friend right there. Cause I'd have been like, dang girl, how much you need? Oh, let's throw a rent party. Something. Because whoa, I don't know. But I know that it's like that's her best friend. So yeah, if my best friend needed, $100, I ain't got it, but I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna find it. Like JJ said, he gonna find. Um, what else? Where else? Okay. Well, Lona said she got $16. Thelma said, "Oh, I got $4 I've been saving to get my afro together." Well, what are you trying to do to your afro? It's already a fro. What? I'm confused. But she got $4 and Michael got $2 he's saving for law school. And JJ said he can sell a painting for $10. So I'm just like, why y'all let it get this bad? Why y'all let it get this bad? Y'all saw the eviction notices and James Jr. and Thelma are old enough to know what they mean. That money y'all had should have been in the shoebox prior to this. No shade, it's not y'all responsibility. But do you want a house? Do you want to live here? Hello? I guess they didn't want to live there. I don't know. Um, let me see. James goes to the closet. He's like, oh, I guess I have to do it. And he goes to the closet, and I'm like, oh my God, he's gonna rob someone. He's got a gun. He got a pool cue. And he's like, yeah, I gotta get back to my old ways. And Florida's like, James, I don't want you out there hustling pool, James. God don't like that. And he's like, well, God gonna have to understand because we need the money. And I'm like, you knew we needed the money before today. It was told to you in letter form several times that the money was owed. I'm not understanding why today of all days the kids got money. Well, Lona got some money that James didn't want to take, which get out my face. James, get out. I don't want to take money from friends. That's not even your friend. Anyway, and now suddenly he can go down there and play pool. You should have played pool while that lady was in the hospital so you would have had enough money. James worked me this episode. I know he gonna work me. Everybody gonna work me throughout the show. But James, the man of the house, ugh, yuck, yuck. Anyway, Florida's like, James, the Lord is gonna be so upset with you for playing pool. And he don't care, because James was a heathen child. He don't care nothing about the Lord. But whatever. Um, he picks her up so he can go down to the pool hall. He picks her up and moves her like physically, and she's like, that man always knew how to move me. And I'm like, Diva, it's not the time to be, sexually aroused by your husband. But low key, I get it, cause like now he picked her up, ooh. But also, hey, we finna be homeless tonight, today at 5. Like, hey, um, cause I forgot to tell y'all that the folks come down and they like, hey, we had to steal all your stuff and put it on the streets, I guess, cause y'all don't, y'all didn't pay your rent. And James was like, give me some time. And they're like, all right, we'll move up our afternoon appointments to the morning. So we'll get you till 5 o'clock. And I'm like, they better than me. They way better than me. Cause if I'm already over here, I feel you getting evicted right now. God bless, cause you had these letters, all this. You already knew what time it was. But okay. Anyway, Wilona's like, come on, girl, I'll take you down to the welfare office. And suddenly Florida got on clothes. Mind you, she was in a bathrobe because she just recovered from surgery. But they getting ready to go to the welfare office. She take off the bathrobe and it's an outfit under there. And she had on heels. I was like, now what's going on here? Why is your outfit under your bathrobe? Why? And it looked like you were supposed to be staying in the house and then you going down to the welfare office with Willona. I'm confused. But anyway, um, they go down to the welfare and they denied her because James made $100 too much last year. Like, hey, be for real. But also, how was that supposed to go? They went down, first of all, imagine going down to your local government office and getting an appointment same day. Because if it's not the DMV around here, you're not getting just a random appointment. I fear you're not. But were they supposed to go down to the welfare office and the people be like, oh yeah, you made not enough money, and so here is this amount that they was gonna pull the money out the bag? I feel you still getting evicted today. Because I just don't feel like the money would have come directly into her hand. But again, I've never been to 1974, so I don't know. Um, so while they sit, I don't know why after they're evicted, nope, after they get denied for welfare, which again, where was it? They was gonna put the money just in her hand, and she was gonna put it in the ring. Anyway, she's waiting. I guess Walona went to get the car or something, but Florida's waiting on the inside, and a gentleman caller comes, and he looked a fool. He sounded a fool. He was just flirting with the welfare ladies, trying to get a little money. Florida says she's married. He say that don't matter. She say get on, and then he walk over to Willona, and Willona does the same essentially, and it's like get. So at the house, the children are practicing a hustle, a scheme, a scam to go down to the department store and fall out. They gonna have Thelma fall out. Okay, so they're practicing it, and it's foolish. It's just a way to waste a little time during the show and kind of show the children's personalities. But Thelma's giving, oh no, I feel faint. I am fainting. And then she like fake faints or whatever. In the meantime, the evictors, I don't know what you call them, the men that were coming to take the stuff, they come back. And so the children try to pull their scheme on them and it works. And I'm like, y'all evict people for a living. You've seen schemes like this before. This cannot be. Why are my dogs? If y'all hear barking, it just is what it is. Um, this cannot be the thing that like gagged you. You've seen different and better, I know. But anyway, it was the thing that gagged them because they reach into their pocket and one has $8 that he was saving for a watch and the other one has $4.60 that he was saving for retirement. And I'm like, why does everybody just have all this exorbitant amounts of money in their pockets? That's big amounts of money. But anywho, Florida comes in. Big Flo. She walk in the door and she sees Thelma lay down on the floor and James had told these people that Thelma ain't ate in 2 weeks and Florida like the hell she ain't. And Florida tells those children to get up off the floor, tell the Lord that they're sorry and all of this. And then the men are getting ready to take the things and Florida says, hold on just 1 second. And Michael says, are you gonna call daddy? And she says, not the father you're thinking of. And then she goes and looks at a picture of white Jesus and just starts praying. And I'm like, if I were the evictors, I would have just started picking up shit. Like, I'm not, let her pray, but I'm also here for my job. So I'm going to do my job. She over there like, Lord, I know it's just, we're not supposed to ask for selfish things, but if you don't mind, could I not be homeless? And I'm like, you can't pray not to be homeless. That's a no-no. In your version of Christianity, hate it. Hate it so bad. But while she praying, James comes in the door. He got the money from shooting pool. And he tells them, the children, like, he got the money, but they say, Mama not gonna take the money. He says, I already came up with a plan. I told my friend Monty to bring it to me. They like she don't like Monty. Whatever. Whatever. Long story short, Monty come in, pretend to give them the money, and if all is well. They give the money to the people who were taking the things out of their house. That's not the leasing office. Them men took your money and ran. Y'all still gonna get evicted, but hey, you gave them people 70 some dollars. You gave them people 70 some dollars, $500 in today's money. And that's not the leasing office. Okay. Anyway, Florida's still over there praying. She turns around, finds out that, oh my God, we're not getting evicted today. And then she turns back to Jesus and she's like, thank you, Lord. And then she, gags the people by saying, and thank you for James's 3 cushion shot. So she knows he hustled and won the money. Why you did all that, I don't know. I don't know. If you was gonna thank the Lord for the shot in the first place, you should have let that man hustle. He should have been hustling. He should have been hustling. Y'all could be, lower middle class. Like, anyway, that was the first episode of Good Times. I'm gonna be back because I don't know, this felt like something I wanted to do. So I'll come back and talk about episode 2. But in the meantime, why don't you like? How about you comment? Do a little subscribing and all the things that YouTube will say. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Bye.